Okay, so the adventure for today is to work on my Chev Colorado, 2005 Chev Colorado with the 3.5 liter inline 5 cylinder engine. And my plan is to pull the spark plugs and check them out and see if they're still in good shape. I've never had them out since I bought the vehicle. It had 249,000 on it, and now it's got just under 280,000, so it's starting to give me grief when it's starting. I'd cleaned the throttle body years ago, and I had cleaned the mass airflow as well, and I did it again today. I took off the mass airflow sensor. But anyway, so I want to get at the spark plugs and have a look at those. So first job is to remove the two tubes that join the air filter to this air plenum, and then the air plenum to the throttle body. So I've already taken them off, and this air plenum is held on by 10 millimeter bolts. So you'll need a 10 millimeter socket with long extensions, because you gotta clear the top of this box. And then there's two lines to disconnect: the small line at the front, and I think that's the PCV valve return connection underneath in the back. And they just pull off easily with your fingers. So that's the 10 millimeter socket for that. And then for the hoses themselves, you're going to need, or the tubes, you're going to need 8 millimeter for the clamps, just to loosen up the clamps, and they just pull off pretty easily. Now, the last thing you're going to need is a 5/8 socket, spark plug socket, to get the plugs out. You want to use a spark plug socket because these coil packs are on top of the spark plugs, and the spark plugs are quite far down in a well. So you'll need something that's going to grab onto the ceramic. So, having gotten this far, grab the clip there. What you then got to do is you have to remove this gray locking clip from the top of the connection to the plug pack, and it's just got that little tab there. So you just push that down, and this slides right out. And then here you get this center tab in the middle of this black part. You just push down on that and pull it off, and the plug comes out pretty easily. And then it's a 10 millimeter socket to get that one bolt that's holding the plug pack down on top of the plug, spark plug. Get that removed. Now, this number one is a bit of a pain in the butt, because they put on this plastic channel. I've removed the top off the channel. It just clips on. There's just a bunch of clips around it. You can just pop it off. But just to kind of show you what it looks like inside, it's got the kind of clips that are the same as you might see on the inside of a door panel. So what I did was I got my door panel tool out and slid it underneath and popped them up. And they're just held in place. They're just pushed down into a couple of posts with holes on the top of the head here. So with that out of the way now I was able to get at the bolt, and able to get the plug pack, or coil pack rather, up and out of the spark plug well. So that's next. I'll do that next, and just take a quick break here and then catch up once I'm getting the plug out. Okay, I got the coil pack out for the first spark plug, cylinder one. And you can see the bolt that holds it in place is a captured bolt, so it's not going to come flying out and you're not going to lose it, but it's kind of nice. But anyway, so that was a bit of a challenge, because I had to fiddle with that cabling channel here in the front. I had to pull it up quite a bit to get it to clear. But now you can see how far down the spark plug is. It's quite far down in the well to give you a bit of an angle there. But I'm just going to make sure that it's nice and clean in there. I've got my air hose here. Probably just blow into there, just make sure any dust and dirt isn't loose in there. Then it's going to fall down into the cylinder when I remove the spark plug. But yeah, so basically that's the process for the first one, and it's just going to be repeat for each of the other four. The other ones will be easier because I don't have that channel to contend with. But yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is the plug out of the number 3 cylinder, and they're AC Delco plugs, and they've got the iridium tip on them, very sharp, but also very fragile. So you have to be real careful with these, with gapping them. You don't want to put any pressure on that tip, or you will break it. And the gap on these things is supposed to be 0.042 inches. So I just checked the gap. So far, the first two were like that, and this one looks like it's the same. You can see it's a pretty big gap. I did notice on the number 2 cylinder, there was a lot of buildup, a lot of oil, or at least really greasy, oily crap. You can see I had to wipe it off on my rag here, built up around the ceramic inside and right around this part at the top. And when I took it out, what I noticed was that the plug was not tight, it was loose. So I was probably not getting the best performance out of that number 2 cylinder. So now it's tight, the coil pack's put on properly, so I'm hoping to see a little bit of improvement, and maybe it won't throw the number 2 sensor codes that it was throwing. But so this is cylinder number 3, and unless I find something wrong with 4 or 5, this should be about the end of the video. Okay, so the plugs and the coil packs are all back on the car, or the truck now, on the engine, and I'm ready to reinstall the hoses and the air plenum on top. Before I do, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the mass airflow sensor here. So I cleaned it a while ago, but I thought, well, you know, while I'm here and I got the tools out, I'll just pull it off and give it a quick spray with my mass airflow cleaner, and just make sure it looked like it was clean. I gave it a spray anyway, and should be good for a long time. So the point of this is that the heads of those bolts that I had to pull out were 8 and 10 millimeter, and then the ones on the clamps were 8. And so I thought, well, you know, these little 2 screws here holding the mass airflow sensor in, I'll go grab my 6 or my 5 millimeter. Nope, 5 millimeter, too small. 6, too big. Guess what? These things are 7/32. So here we go. Good old GM engineering. Got friggin' SAE fasteners on the mass airflow, and then the other fasteners are metric. So it's nice when they mix them up like that. What a bunch of goofs, the friggin' people that design these things. Anyway, so that's it. Job's done. Only the number 2 cylinder didn't look right. The gap was okay, but the plug was loose, and there was all kinds of liquid and oil and solidified friggin' oil, kind of carbonized. So I'm thinking that one wasn't tightened down enough. It is now. So we'll see how the engine performs now.